Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I have, wow, maybe one of my best videos ever, just because, man, I think this is revolutionary. And the Lord Himself, Jesus, is telling me, like, really intimately that this is coming. And maybe for the first time, I was getting a sense of that from Him since the Revelation 12 sign back in 2017, September 2017. So wow, I'm just going to get right to this. This is part one. This is going to be a doozy. I am so thankful, man. You got to watch this whole thing. You have to share this. You have to share this with anybody you can think of, because this is coming to pass. Literally, several of my predictions have happened in some form or another, and they're about to happen in a few weeks. This is insane. Anyway, let's get right to it. I'm so excited. Can't even say how this is shown out. This part one's going to get into some different things I want to share, and some things in iPad Go. But the second one is going to really nail it with iPad Go and show how it's the second or last Revelation 12 sign that's coming here. It is just phenomenal. I can't contain my excitement. So let's get right to it. So again, I'm the Exalted Lamb 1 on YouTube and Exalted Lamb 1 on Telegram. My motto, basically for the whole time I've been doing this, which is 6+ years, is having no part in the worthless deeds of darkness, but instead exposing them like Jesus, my friend, my master, my Lord, is basically instructing me for these many years. I was given dreams and visions 9+ years ago, and I'm like, Lord, what do I do with this? And it took me a few years, and him finally saying on this particular day, I want you to do a YouTube channel. And then I've been warning ever since. And he's been showing me and teaching me how gematria works, how these symbolisms work. And then alongside of me a couple years ago, which he was watching me for before that, but alongside of me a couple years ago came my brother Constantine in Romania. And man, between us, back and forth, and the synergy when we get together and even apart, we have just really nailed this thing down. I'm super excited, and I'm just very honored to have him along my side, and also people that have participated in the Telegram channel as well. I'm just so thankful for that. So, man, let's get into this. This is phenomenal. What I'm gonna get into here. So, pay attention. Anyway, so first of all, if you're not familiar with the rule, there's different rules as far as numerology. And by the way, there's numerology is good and bad. The typical numerology that people hear about is astrology, but the numerology in general is the study of numbers. I mean, that's what an ology is. If you know anything about ologies, okay. Study of numbers, biblical numerology. You can look it up. There's many books from amazing biblical scholars and things, amazing Christian authors and things, biblical numerology. I'm going all the way back to, Strong's and with concordances and all this kind of stuff, and all these different things out there for study guides for the Bible. I mean, God is the father of numbers. Okay, if you don't understand that, I'm sorry, but so I'm taking his understanding and the Lord Jesus' understanding and breaking this down. And then the bad side, the dark side of the coin, is the devil and his minions and such, and Stinky B, the 44th Pres, the coming Antichrist, and all this. They're basically have their version of God's numbers, and they twist it and they turn it upside down, backwards, and all this stuff. So the rule of nines is something basic that they use to hide things. This is something really the enemy uses more than God does. The rule of nines. So the rule of nines, for example, you see the scene from 2001, right? Okay, 9, 1, and then 1. Well, that's for the 11th day. Well, if you add 9 to anything, for example, 9 to that, you get 9. 9 plus 1 is back to that. Okay, so anything you add 9 to, so I just added that, then 9 plus 1 plus 1 equals back to this. So we started right there, we added 9, and we went back to 11, okay? And this is symbolic of the 11th day of the timeline. And this has played out many symbolic ways over the years, and I've showed this many times. The 11th and 12th day, more symbolic for the 11th day because of the time zone over on the west side of the United States that comes from also Hawaii, because that's where Stinky B was born, supposedly, right? Okay, is the 11th day is the attack on both coasts, two coasts, and then basically every attack day also is some form of 9, 1, and then 1, okay? That's how this works, okay? Then they also do opposites. They do opposites, and that's how they hide things in so many different ways. And I've shown things over the years in all my videos, so many opposites. They do backwards. Again, for example, to be an adept disciple of Lester Crowley, one of the most highly regarded Satanists in the early 1900s, and who most rock musicians have been, he's their patron saint, basically, and they study his system and his books and all that kind of stuff. They do everything backwards. For example, who made walking backwards famous? Michael Jackson. He was a study of Aleister Crowley, and many other people. So backwards is their thing, to hide things. It's harder to see things when we're used to look at things forward. It's hard to see things backwards or opposite or upside down and backwards. Upside down and backwards. So again, opposites. And as you see here, I have black and white. Black and white are opposites. So the good side is white and the bad side is black in a sense. Or the chessboard. The chessboard is black and white. And then the people that are running the world with unfortunately the Bible says that Satan is the god of this world. Adam lost dominion to Satan legally, and then Jesus is going to come to get it back at some point. Okay, so the god of this world has his minions that run the world, and they use the world like a chessboard, and they manipulate people. And the false white and the black, the false white is what I'm saying, and the black. And God's separate from that chessboard. He's completely separate. And the Lord Jesus and what He's showing, what I'm doing, and everything, we're separate from this. Okay, but I'm reporting on it. I'm like a watchman reporting when things are coming. And if a watchman doesn't report when something's coming, the danger's coming, then the blood is on my hands, and I have to report. That's what the Lord is showing me to do. And I'm even more intimate than just a watchman. I'm basically His representative, showing people and warning people what's coming. So one of the main things that has been a warning vehicle for the enemy is iPad Go 2, and it's an animated movie that was put out technically in 2012, and I'm gonna have a lot more stuff on my part 2. This is part 1. I'm gonna have a lot more stuff about iPad Go and how it lines up with this time and everything that I'm talking about. This timeline that's impeccable. It's the best I ever had, and it's literally the second Revelation 12 sign that this is showing. It's showing the first one and then the second one right on top of it. And it's really crazy. But iPad Go 2 is an animated movie, and it's basically showing the birth of the Antichrist. It's the second 9, 1, and then 1. The first one, and then the second one is multiple second 9, 1, and then 1s. And then they will basically dismantle the United States, because we are Mystery Babylon. A lot of people might disagree with me, but you don't know the word, unfortunately. Look in the links in the bottom of the description box. Right below this video, in the bottom of the description box, I have links about 144,000, the innocent children that are going to be taken, and also why we're Mystery Babylon, things like that. And it's massive. I mean, it's just massive. Mystery Babylon is said to be a land of images. That's us. Surrounded by many waters. That's us. There's no other so-called candidate that comes close. Nobody. And the Lord told me this about 12 years ago. He just all of a sudden said, hey, by the way, Stinky B, the 44th Pres, Barack Insane Obama is the Antichrist and the United States of Mystery Babylon. And I'm like, what the I was thinking at the time William was, because I'd read different books that some people recommended to me. I wasn't even into that whole thing, and even the end time stuff at that time. But I thought it might be, if I thought there was a candidate, would be William, Prince William at the time, which he's still technically Prince William. He's the one that's in the queue. And then he's like, no, but then I learned later, the Lord showed me he's the second beast. Obama's the first beast, and he's the second beast. And I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into the date that who I predicted. I said years and years ago that King Charles would be king, and then he would be taken out, and then ultimately William will be king. He'll be the second beast, and him and Obama will play off each other in the tribulation. So I've been saying this for years and years and years. Now it's playing out. And I'll show you that as well. But right here, you see the buck moon of July, and there's a buck coming out of there right there, if you know it at all. Again, iPad Goat is there for, it's like the enemy's version. I'll go back to that. I forgot what I was talking about there. It's the enemy's version of the book of Revelation. Every single scene in it is every single cut to every single scene is a mini chapter in like the enemy's book of Revelation, and it's a hidden timeline. It's a puzzle. It's puzzles and coded messages and imagery that basically each scene in showing you a timeline of things that are going to come to pass, that they're planning, that they're working behind the scenes to cause. It's not real prediction. It's not real prophecy because they're behind the scenes causing it all. When God would predict something, he's back from it, looking at it, and he knows the beginning from the end, and he knows the end. But the enemy's he's saying what he's going to do because the plans is something he's working behind the scenes to make happen. So if that makes sense. Okay, so right here you have the buck moon and coming out of here, and then wait, one more thing I want to say about that. I had a if you don't know about this, I had a 32nd degree Mason contact me. I'm going to get into details about him. So people know from my past videos a while back. And he said, he confirmed that this is their playbook. This is their plan. They call it the plan. And literally they put it in an animated movie so it wouldn't be taken seriously, but they could put it out there as predictive programming. And it programs people, predictive programming in movies, TV, and all that, programs people to an eventual outcome that they want as the masses start believing these things that they've been programmed over the years. For example, more Americans believe in aliens than that Jesus Christ even existed. And like 50 years ago, that wasn't the case. I mean, it was massively different. But now it's now turned on its head, that idea. So like Jesus is pretty much, even though it's completely proven that he existed, now the idea is who he really was. That's harder to prove to most people, but the fact that he actually existed is easy to prove. But now most Americans believe that aliens are more, that they've never seen, they've seen, there's been sightings and all that so-called, but more Americans believe that aliens exist than Jesus even existed. And that's a great example of how predictive programmers program people, and it's how it's a self-fulfilling mass prophecy when the elite are behind, and the demons that are behind the elite are behind these things that manipulate the masses down a path into an eventual outcome that they want. So that's how predictive programming works. So iPad Goat is one of those things, okay? And then was put out there in 2012, and I'm going to show how the timing and all this kind of stuff and how it relates to this time it's amazing. But in here are little puzzles and stuff. This is the Revelation 12 sign, the 12 stars, the 12 figures above her head, that the Revelation 12 says. The moon under her feet. The moon right here is within the sun right here. Moon under feet. And all this stuff about the Revelation 12 sign. Well, there's a second Revelation 12 sign that's happening here in September going into October this year, okay? And again, go back to here. Buck moon, July, August. Each one is a month. Each figure is a month. And then we have Trumple right here. He represents August because that was the Republican National Convention and some other big things that happened with him. In fact, he got shot at in this month, and then that's all predicted and so many things here. And then we have September is the birth of the Antichrist, and that is Stinky B. He's the only one with an ear, and he's known for his big ears. And he has ultraviolet, which equals that. So many things that represent the Antichrist are ultraviolet. That colors come around everywhere. Ultraviolet and pink are in everything now. It's just crazy. That's September, and then we have September going into October 2nd. And that's all here in this eclipse, right in the Revelation 12 sign framework right here. And I'm going to get more into what that is. And then also how Easter is the opposite of this day, okay? So this is the timeline. Again, I'm just going to hit some things here, a number of different things on this part one, and then I'm going to really dig deep into the part two about iPad going out shows this is the second and the last Revelation 12 sign. So let's get into this. So this is my timeline. This is the first 2 days and the last 2 days. And the first day is, it's a partial blood moon eclipse. Partial blood moon or partial lunar eclipse. And then this day of the 2 days, each event is a 2-day process, by the way, as I've said many times. And then this day right here is a annular eclipse. oh, that just happens to be the first day and then the last day. The first day is, again, a 2-day process, and then the last day is a 2-day process. But we'll call it this day and this day. And this just happens to be that. How this is shown in iPad Goat is this. See these characters right here? And I've said this before, and I just didn't understand until we got to this point. They literally have a blushy cheek right here, and it looks like it's a planet. So it is actually a blood moon, and it's also an annular eclipse. It's both right on top of each other. They're blushy right here. There's a blushy. It's a red for the blood moon, and then it's also an annular eclipse. And then obviously, like you said, like you saw, Lily was sitting on an annular eclipse. And it just, I thought it was, symbolic, and then it was opposite of the year, and then all these different things that happen over the years. But this is finally it. I am so, man, I'm nailing this thing. What stuff I found on iPad Goat I'm going to share in part 2 are just off the charts. Wow, off the charts. Linking this completely in my mind. I mean, I think a few other people have said the same thing I've shared this with. It's amazing. So right here, we have this annular eclipse on Mama's cheek, and then we have this little planet right here. It's the same thing as Heliofont's logo. It's an annular eclipse and a little dot right here for another planet. And for a while, I wasn't sure what it was. Now, of course, I know. This is showing right here, but it's hard to see in this version of Solarium how this works. But Mercury is right here, and then here's another snapshot of it. There's Sun with the eclipse. I'm just showing the Sun without showing this right here. And then there's, just imagine this is the eclipse, and then the Mercury is right there. It's right there. And then that is October 2nd is this eclipse. And Mercury equals 103, which is what it looks like on 102. 10/2, October 2nd, and October 3rd, right there. October 2nd, October 3rd. And see how Mercury is right there. I mean, literally, it's right to the top left, right there. Now, this is upside down and backwards in a sense to what that would be, in a sense. Well, anyway, actually sideways. It's at an angle. When you make this the Virgo this way, like I'm showing right here, it's literally showing it just like it is right here. It's crazy. This is lined up 100%. And then again, that's 103. The last 2 days are 102. 102. Wow, why am I saying 102? Anyway, same thing, but October 2nd and October 3rd, the last 2 days, and Mercury just happens to be 103. Okay, and then it's also 86, which is what? 86 is backwards 68, this guy, and there you go. That just happens to be that. I don't think so. And this is reverse ordinal. That's English order. See how this is reverse of this normal way, and it's reversed? It's crazy. That's not a coincidence. Okay, as I'm going to show, and listen, if you don't understand, the Lord Jesus has taught me gematria over the years, and an intimate, crazy understanding of it I've never seen by anybody, and first and last letter codes, which I've never seen from anybody at all. And literally in this gematria is the day, month, a lot of times, or just the day of the year, or between the forward and reverse is the day, month, and year. And it's just been a matter of figuring out which one it actually is, which ones it actually are, because they can make up multiple possibilities. Okay, for example, he's Mercury. He's Mercury, and this is the symbol for Mercury. See the symbol? See why would it have horns on its head? I mean, that's not just a symbol of Mercury. That is a female symbol with horns. And I've said for many years, he is a he-she. Okay, it's a clone. Stinky B is a clone of Akhenaten. It matches completely numerically. Akhenaten equals Barack Obama, lightning falling from heaven, like Jesus said in Luke 10:18. In fact, I'm not getting into all that right now. Okay, anyway, and then this is the symbol for female and male. Okay, see that's female. See, female with horns. It's a female. It's again the opposite of the so-called male depiction of God. Okay, now God's neither male or female. He's spirit. Okay, but he's kind of depicted more as masculine because he has more of the masculine traits in certain ways. Although some of his names have a feminine connotation, like for example, I think Jehovah Rapha, is it, or is breasted one? So that means provider. So if you have breasts, you provide for your children, whatever. And then he has different names, and they have different attributes that some are sometimes. And then like a marriage between a man and woman is, and when they come together, it's a symbol of God having kind of feminine attributes like being beautiful, and then masculine being like a warrior and all that stuff. So there's some of that. But the opposite of this spirit, this this symbolic thing of masculine is feminine, and he is hiding as he is masculine, looking as man, but he's more feminine than masculine. But technically, he's both, and that's no coincidence that Mercury, the symbol for Mercury, would match the symbol for both of these together, which is hermaphroditus. Look at that. Hermaphroditus symbol exactly matches Mercury. Is that a off-the-charts coincidence? No, it's planned. This is absolutely planned. How this would be exactly, again, that's feminine mostly, and then horns. And hermaphroditus is the Greek god for androgyny. Hermaphroditus was both male and female. And if someone's called a hermaphrodite, that means they have both female and male things, and I think that's what Stinky B has. It's nasty, and I don't even want to think about it, of course, but I'm just telling you, this is the truth. And then its other partner is Mikal. And he's literally said in interviews, accidentally, or I think it's on purpose, but it looks like it's accidental. Mikal and I, Michael, he said a few times, Mikal and I, supposedly on accident, when it's Michelle. How would you accidentally call your spouse the male version of their name? I mean, it makes no sense. And then he said, Michael, when he was on with Bear Grylls on a out in the outdoors and survival mode with Bear Grylls, he's like, Michael, and then he just changed. Michelle. So, and then I've shown video on how Michael and I, how Michelle has a member down there and dancing on Ellen DeGenerate show, and the thing flopping in the wind and stuff, and coming out of I think it was a funeral or something, coming out, adjusting down there and all that. I mean, just obvious. You see something down there. It's bad. I mean, if you look at any of the evidence, it's obvious. If you don't know that by now, that Michelle's is Michael, I'm sorry. You've been served. You've been warned. Okay, so anyway, and their children are not their children. The friends of theirs, both their children look exactly like each one of the members of there's a married couple that they're friends of theirs. You can look this up. It's crazy. They're all, because they can't do that. It's not available because they're not that. Anyway, so moving on. Okay, so again, Obama winking. Obama winks. Okay, again, this is gematria. Okay, watch. Obama winks, right? Now, how is that related? This is the eclipse, and then this is Mercury for this day right here. Now, but watch. Obama winks is also gematria. It's 162 and 972. Now, both of these are reversed. This is how they relate to each other. This is reverse, and this is A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3 in English gematria. But with reverse ordinal, Z equals 1, Y equals 2. It goes backwards like that, okay? And then this Sumerian is 6 times this. So this is the reverse of English, and this is 6 times this. So they relate to each other. So that's how they relate to each other. And so this is going to, I'm gonna because these are reversed, I'm gonna reverse these. Now let's watch and reverse these. See, I'm gonna go from 162 and put it over here, 172 and put it over here, so you can see what I mean. See how they love to reverse things. So I'm gonna put it right so you can see how this is. Starting right here, 972. We're gonna switch 7 and 2 to 2 and 7. And then we're going to leave the 9, that goes right there. And the 2, we're going to minus 1, and that ends up being 1. We take that minus 1 and plus it over here to make the 7, 8. And there you go, 918 right there. 927 is higher than 918 right there. Minus 1 from 2, and you put the 1 over here to add to 7, you have 8. See, this is another way they hide things. Now we're going to go over here. 162 is 162 or 162. Again, things are also how you say things. They're hidden by how you say it also. Or things sound like, they're homonyms. Things sound like other things. Okay, like for example, President Ford, prophesied in a sense, in their sick way, that a vice president was going to be, a female vice president was going to become president. I've shared the video on that. So it's Harris of Ford. Harris and Ford. Harris about Ford. Harrison Ford. So Harrison Ford is always about Harris about Ford. Harrison Ford. Anyway, there's all these things out there I've shared. It's just hundreds of them. So anyway, 160 and 2 is, so then we're going to switch 0, 2, and 6. You can switch any two things, 0, 2, and 6. We're going to switch that. So we have 10, 1, 0, 2, 6, switch the 0, 2, and the 6 to 02 and 6, or 6 and 02 to 02 and 6. Boom, now, and then we bring that down, and then see how this is 10-2, and the 6 is hiding 2 plus 4. So this little Obama Winks is the first day hiding 9-18, and the last day 10-2, and we also have a 24 here, but it's 10-2 right here. It's crazy, and that's what's on his cheek the last day. Okay, so also October 2nd is the annual eclipse visible from a narrow path in the Earth's southern hemisphere. The eclipse will start on the Southern Pacific Ocean around. Now this is crazy. Where this eclipse going to be, I'm going to go through that in part 2. It will blow your ever-loving mind, and that is in iPet Goat. Has everything to do with the opposite of this day as well. Like I'm saying, it's just mind-blowing. I'm not going to get into it right now because I'd have to unpack a lot. So, and I have some more research to do to just nail it all the way down. But anyway, so from this, it goes all the way to 10. It starts at 10:56 UTC time. But the thing about United States is the farthest east time zone for the United States is technically in one of its territories, American Samoa, and that is -11 from UTC, -11 hours. So that means for 4 minutes, it's October 1st. So literally in the United States, because that's all these time frames have to do with the end of the United States, have to do with the days and hours and times in the United States, and the end of Mystery Babylon and all this kind of stuff. And people might say to me, and they have over time, like, what's so important about the United States, everything, and all this stuff you're talking about? Because the United States is Mystery Babylon, and the end of the United States starts the tribulation. It's nowhere in the rest of Revelation. It doesn't exist. And we're talking about all the other things in the rest of the world, over to Israel and Europe and all this kind of stuff in Revelation. United States and the Mystery Babylon destruction of Mystery Babylon, it's destroyed in 1 hour and all that stuff. It kicks off the rest of the tribulation. So it's 10-1 and 10-2. Technically, like I showed you, by 4 minutes. It's crazy. Okay, and 4 is, oh man, anyway, we'll get into what 4 is. Okay, and then Stinky B is 4-4, and Lucifer is 4-4-4. That's in Gematria. Okay, boom. And then so the opposite of this 10-1, which was for 4 minutes, is right here. The opposite is this, the 275th day of the year. The opposite in the days of the year is the 91st day of the year with 275 days left over. And what day was that this year? March 31st. Any guesses? Okay, anyway. Easter. Easter was the exact opposite. Okay, remember I showed you or it's on my thumbnail, the Easter behind Lily is the opposite of this time. And then 1 and 2 of the eclipse. It's crazy. And then see this symbol for Easter, the big bunny rabbit? This was a commercial in the last Super Bowl. The last Super Bowl that happened last February was the last Super Bowl, by the way. And I knew it was at the time. I just didn't know when, I was just guessing about when this all ending this year. But this was the last Super Bowl, and then this is the commercial about the big Easter bunny on Tubi. Tubi is a streaming movie and TV service, not as high end as like Hulu or even Amazon or even Netflix or whatever, but it's coming on strong, I guess. And they had a big, multi-million-dollar commercial during the Super Bowl, and they show this. You have the whole thing with the rabbit. The rabbit represents the time change. And the portal's opening, and there's a big portal, and he grabs people and throws them down the hole. Or he's also sticking his head from the hole that's in the sky down, like right here. He's sticking his head down from the portal that's in the sky. And this is symbolic. This is in a lot of movies and stuff. The bunnies that are hidden, the white rabbit, Matrix follow the white rabbit. I mean, all this kind of stuff. It's all over the place. So you have from there, so we have that opposite with the days of the year. We also have opposite of Easter. This is Easter. To the birth of the Antichrist, 9, 1 and then 1, or 2 plus 9 is the birth of the Antichrist, lightning falling from heaven, Barack Obama. 9:29 and 9:30, but 9:29 is 9, 1, 2 plus 9 is 11, okay? But how this is opposite from this is that from this day, when you include the day and go to this day, it's a 183 days full. 183 days. Why is that? Well, why does that matter? Because that's half of the year, but only on a leap year. On a leap year, you have an odd number of days, 365 days. I mean, on a normal year, you have 365 days. On a leap year, you have 366, or 183 plus 183. So from including this day, from this day to this day is 183 days. And that's halfway through the year. So that's why this is opposite of this. Or you could even say that the 30th begins the 183 day next half. So the 30th. So see how these are opposite of each other? So I'm going to show you how this is showing this. And that's when the portal opens for the Stinky BO, the Antichrist, or the Satan to be kicked out of heaven through the silver gate, and then then he's kicked out of heaven, and then the faithful in Christ are take up through the golden gate on that same day, through the portal that's in the sky. See that? And he's sticking his head down, saying, "Oh, I'll let you." See, this is all predictive programming, telling you right in front of your face without you even knowing what's going on. And Tubi right here is also that date. Again, what I just said, 9:29 and 9:30 starts the next half, or the other side. Now watch, 9:29, 9:30. Ready? Tubi is in full reduction and reverse for full reduction. Look, 29th. 29th. Okay, now we're going to take this, again, upside down and backwards. Take this 16 and turn it upside down and backwards. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. That's 9-1. I'll just leave it the way it is like this. I can normally just put a regular 1, but you can see how this is. You just flip it upside down and backwards. And that's 9:29 plus 1. 9:29 and 30. It's crazy. It's literally showing both here. Okay, and not only that, in this whole phrase right here too. So I'll show you that in a second. But also in Tubi is showing this. Not only 9:29, this upside down and backwards, 9:29 and 9:30. You have 9-2 backwards. What's 9-2? 9:30 is day with 9. They love the days of the year. They really do. 92 days left over. Backwards, 92 days left over. And then we have this one, 92 plus 1. 92 plus 1 is 93. The 9:29. Again, both these days, depending on your time zone, are the birth of the Antichrist and the faithful going up to heaven. Both the man-child up into heaven, that's in Revelation 12, and the Antichrist born. That's all over in the Bible. Okay, 93. By the way, that's flight 93 from 9-1 and then 1. I mean, all kinds of stuff. 93, Law of Thelema. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, 9 plus 1. And then what's 6? 6 is 2 plus 4, 24. So in 24, the day with 93 days left over, and the day with 92 days left over is all represented here in Tubi. And both of these, again, this one here, 29 and 10-2, are both opposites of Easter, like I showed you they are. Now, how is this phrase going to be both of these? This phrase is going to be both of these. Well, there we go. Find your next rabbit hole, okay? Now, look at this one. This is 3, 2, 7. We're going to take the 27 and the 3 and switch them. 3 and 20. See, these are whole numbers. 27. You can do separate numbers or take the 27 and 3 and switch them. Then we have 27 and 3 or 3 and 27. And then the 273rd day of the year is 9/29. Boom. Okay, now look over here. Again, just like I showed you earlier, this is 29th, the day with 29 days left over, plus 1 is 93. So 273rd day of the year right here is the day with 29 plus 1, sorry, it's 92 plus 1 is 93 days left over is what I'm trying to say. Okay, 93 days left over, okay? And then that's year 6 or year 24, okay? There it is. And then this also, another way of looking at this, the 273rd day of the year, or again, upside down and backwards, anything you do upside down and backwards. This 6, flip it upside down and backwards to a 9 is, now read this backwards, 29th of September, 29th September is the 273rd day of the year. There you go. 29th of September, the 273rd day of the year, and that's all in here on it somehow. And then you can also add a 1 to make the 29th of September plus 1 is 30th of September. Crazy. And then this is in reverse and reverse Sumerian. This is in English and English Sumerian. Watch this. Boom. 276. Just switch the 6 and the 7. 276, okay? And then we're right over here. We have 1, 0, 1, 0, 2, and then 6 is made up of 2 plus 4. 2, 4. See, the 276th day of the year is 10-24. The 276th day of the year is 10-24. Look at that. I mean, are you kidding me? It's all in here. It's right in front of your face, and numerically and symbolically and everything else. Okay, so again, we have this is opposite of this, okay, because you have this day of the year, and this is how many days left over, this day's left over, and this is the day of the year, okay? And that's Obama with bunny ears. That sounds funny or silly, right? Obama with bunny ears is 275, and that just happens to be Easter and the opposite of Easter. The eclipse day, it's October 1 and 2, technically. Obama with bunny ears. Two different Easters these pictures these pictures come from. Wow, I can't speak. Yeah, and then it's also not only Obama with bunny ears, and he just happened to be right there with the ears right there both times, and maybe even more times. I think I found a third one, but I can't find the other one. He's got different. These are different years. He looks older here, obviously, and it's different years, different bunny slightly, and all that. And then also, it's not only Obama with bunnies like I just showed you. It's also Easter bunny behind. There's an Easter bunny behind, and I'm going to show you this. Easter bunny behind behind Lily is an Easter bunny behind. Okay, that's just how this stuff works. You just got to figure out what they're saying in gematria. And sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not so obvious. So 18 plus 6 is 20. Oh, sorry, do this one first. 2 and then 7 plus 3 is 10. 210 or 2nd of October. Or go backwards, October 2nd, and then 18 plus 6 is 24. October 2nd, 24. That's what they're hiding. That's where she's sitting in. The eclipse, which is October 2nd, 24. I'm proving this, and I'm going to keep slamming it home. Watch this. And then this is not only this date, it's also the death and birth of the Antichrist, because that's who that was, with the bunny ears behind him, or Obama with bunny ears. That's the subject here. Because 1 plus 8 is, see, if you compress these two numbers, you get this number. If you decompress this number, actually, you know what? That's not right. Whatever, moving on. Anyway, this is also, the 273rd day of the year is 929. I mean, you can add a 1 to this and make it 25. Anyway, I messed up on this thing right here. That doesn't have very much. The 273rd day of the year is 929. That's the birth of the Antichrist. And I was showing you how these are both the same on this other slide over here. Anyway, I won't go back. That was a mistake. Okay, anyway. Boom. Okay, so it doesn't matter. And then this is when the Antichrist and Obama basically met with the Pope in the United States on this exact day. And then when the transformation of the first attack day in the United States and the transformation of the 144,000 is technically a birth, and it's also judgment, because it's going to be the first attack day in the United States 9 years later exactly. And that is, the number 9 is the biblical number for birthing. Again, this is a birth. She's dropping an apple. She's birthing the Antichrist. And also it's a birth of the man-child. It means both, because it's a Revelation 12 sign about the man-child, and she represents that. And it's judgment. Birthing, finality, and judgment. 9 is the number for birthing, finality, and judgment. There you go. Bam. And then it's also, 923 is also the exact opposite. This is the day with 99 days left over. The day with 99 days, or the 99th day of the year, was the eclipse day, that was massively substantial. The last Great American Eclipse, okay, is the exact opposite of this. That's substantial. And then we have here also, what are these arrows pointing to? The first thing is her hair. It's a 6, which is upside down 9. Again, these are puzzles. These are imagery puzzles, basically. And you got to figure this out. And it's just like if you were to do puzzles. Anyway, all kinds of puzzles out there that are imagery and stuff. And I've been pretty good at those. But with the Lord energizing with my understanding, I'm seeing these things, and right there is upside down and backwards that you normally wouldn't see. 23 in her dress. So we have, and notice this is right exactly above here. This is right above here. I mean, literally the same spot. 6 upside down and backwards, and then 23. It's right above it. It's right above it. 923. And then let's look. So that's 923. And then remember this over here, which is opposite of 923. This last eclipse that completed this X. Well, what's X equal? X is the 24th letter of the alphabet. So that 92324. Okay, and I'm just telling you, and then you're like, yeah, whatever, yeah, right. Well, let me show you something else. Look at this apple. When she drops it, it rolls. It is a red with stripes and a spot. It is Jupiter, and we already know it's Jupiter because this is a Revelation 12 sign. Jupiter exits Virgo on 9/9/2017, and then 2 weeks later becomes a sign and an alignment that makes a Revelation 12 sign, and that is Jupiter exiting Virgo. So we know this is Jupiter already, but it looks like lines of Jupiter, and it got the spot like Jupiter, and then Jupiter just happens to be, when you look at it through a real high-end telescope, Not the stupid things that NASA makes up, the perfect little images that they make up with their CGI, computer generated imagery. This is what from a high-end telescope, okay, what Jupiter looks like. Really, see how that looks like that? I mean, it's crazy. Good enough anyway, close enough. It really is. But also, the symbol for Jupiter gives you the year, because the symbol for Jupiter is that symbol, which is 24 together, 2 and 4 together. 24, 9, 23, 24. So literally right here, we have 9, 23, 24. 9, 23, 24, all right here. Okay, anyway, boom. Okay, now I want to show you something about this. Okay, with it could go either way, but I'm just going to show it this way with the date of this opposite of 923, the date of the eclipse. 99 day of the year, 99th day of the year with 267 days left over. So 99th day of the year with 267 days left over, then you know it's still talking about this time. All these things are hiding all the other dates in the timeline. Again, so let me make this clear. If you want to see all the events that are going to happen in this timeline from the beginning, 9/18, 9/19, to the end, August 2nd and 3rd, is pinned to the top of comments on this video. The timeline of events is pinned to the top of comments on this video, on all my videos. But this is the latest one, will be the most updated, the most accurate one, and it's going to be phenomenal. Several of these things are going to happen, and I man, if it doesn't happen this time, I don't know what I'm doing. It will. I've several things I predicted. I'm going to show you a few things I predicted that have happened already. It's crazy. I usually haven't done that in the past, but I've had too many people recently, in the last few months, say, oh, nothing you ever say happens. Well, you're not watching my videos or paying attention. Most people don't know all these different events that have happened because they're not paying attention really well, I guess, because I've said many things that have happened. Even over time, I said that Biden would be replaced by Harris. Years ago, I said that Charles would eventually die, and then replaced by, and William would be king, and this is all playing out. Charles has cancer now, and I'm going to get into that in a second. And this is all playing out. So many things I've said, and I'll get into more of these here in this video here. So look at this: 99 days there, 267 days left over. Now watch. 9 down. 9 is made of a 1 and 8. Bring the 2 down. 6 plus 7 is 13. And then 9, 18, 2, and 1 plus 3 is 4. This is the first day, 9, 18, 24. See how this is all showing stuff in there as well? Speaking of 9/18/24, this is a previous video I had as well, a few months ago. And I said it looked like Trump was going to jail. Well, the stupid, of course, they postponed it because it's all planned, because he's 7/11 and 9/18. And I didn't realize that. I thought it was, now I understand this more. But it looks like he's still, he is minimum going to be confined to Trump Tower. So, but they're going to send, I believe this judge is going to sentence him to some form of jail or prison, because it's in all the numbers, and it's all the predictive programming. Okay, so, for example, this was just reported on August 24th, about a week ago here. Will Donald Trump be sentenced to prison? They keep saying prison or jail in all these headlines. Stormy Daniels, whatever. Okay, with prison in September. Okay, so he is due to be sentenced on September 18th. Again, I'll be back, and all this stuff is about Trump. He'll be back. He's going to have this big announcement that I've been saying for a long time, and that's when they're going to sentence him to that. Okay, and then it looks like he's going to be in Manhattan when this happens. And then a few days later, 7 days later, he's going to, or technically 8 days later from there, because he's 7 and 8. He's going to be destroyed and burned in Trump Tower, like Jacques de Molay was burned in front of Notre Dame. And he's Trumple is a Grand Master Knights Templar, and GMDT, or TD Trump Donald, GMDT is 7/13/24, and that's the day he was shot. 7/13/24 is GM Trump Donald. It is 7/13/24, and that's the day he was shot, and it all comes together. It's just crazy. So this is all coming to pass here. And then look, whether they say it, they've said this hundreds of times, seems like, in jail or prison, over this last basically year, more than, or something like that, since it was even possible. Or all these different things they've been going after him all kinds of ways and stuff. But he's part of it. He's all part of this. This is all a game. This is all a chess game to the unknowing masses. It really is. Both sides. It's really quite ridiculous. If you believe in the conservative or liberal or the Republican or the Democrat thing, man, you're being fooled. I mean, the internet's out there. You can search for things. You can study things. You can find things. You can see evidence that's off the charts that this stuff's all a hoax. If you still believe this and you're in this stupid paradigm, get out. And if you're not out by now, you're probably not going to get out, and you're going to be shaked out. God and the enemy are going to shake you out, and you're going to either become a goat or a sheep. You're going to be split either way. You're going to resent God, and you're going to be thrown that side, or you're going to bow down to God and realize who the power really is. I don't know. That's what this is. All this stuff that's coming is all about: separating people. Make a decision. Go for the bad side or go for the good team. Which one? You choose. Okay? So, and people are going to start waking up. So JL equals, J is 10, A is 1, 9 is, I is 9, L is 12. Bring it down. 10, bring down. I, bring down. We're going to switch the 9 and the 1 to 1 and 9 and bring down the 2. Then boom, 10 down. 1 plus 1 is 2. 9 down, 2 down. And we're going to take this whole thing and flip it around. Upside down and backwards. 10292 upside down, flipped upside down and backwards is 262. It's funny how 2 stays the same when you flip it upside down and backwards. So does O, so does 1. But 9 when you flip it up, or O or 0. When you flip 9 upside down and backwards, it becomes 6. So flip this whole thing upside down and backwards, and you have 26201 or 01. What does that matter? 262 plus 1. What is that? Well, 918 right here when you sentence is literally the 262nd day of the year, and then the next day, which is another part of the, again, these are all 2-day process, because there's an event day and there's a reporting day. There's also another day on the other side of the world and all that stuff. So 262 plus 1 is 262, and which is 918 and 919. It's just crazy. How is this? I mean, seriously, this is crazy. And then let's go to let's go to prison. Let's go to prison. Let's go to the word prison. Okay, again, these are the numbers that associate with these letters here, right? Boom. Again, rule of nines. I'm going to get rid of certain nines. 1 plus 8 is 9. Can get rid of that. Let's get rid of this 9. Let's get rid of 5 and 4 here with this 9. Now watch this. We're going to do this first. We'll switch the 1 and the 6. Boom, like that. Now we're going to bring this 19 down and this 1 and this 1 down. Okay? And now let's keep going. Boom. 6 is made up of 2 plus 4. 1 and 1 is 2. 9 flipped upside down and backwards is 6. 1 plus 1 is 2. Year 24, the 262nd day in the year 24 is September 18th. Bam. Okay. And then I had this prediction as well in a previous video. And it looked like in the numerology here, it was so clear. It was August 19th, 24, August 19th, 24, with 24 being in the center. They do this, it's called mirror dates. There's a mirror in the center, and it shares the same number. Okay, but I was off a little bit because I was right, but I was also off because it's backwards. It's 819 backwards is 918. It's backwards. Let me show you how this works. Okay, boom. It's red heifer looks like going to be sacrificed. So this is what I had. Now I'm going to get rid of this. Okay, now let's do this over. Now what I did was 5 plus 4 equals 9. And then because it looked like the stuff was showing 819, I switched these two, which they do all the time. But in this situation, I didn't have to. So now I'm going to take this 1 and 8, instead of switching it from 1 8 to 8 1, I'm going to switch it back. So 1 8 comes down, 5 plus 4 is 9, and this all stays the same. So 189, 189, and 24 comes down, and this 9 and 18 comes down as well. So we literally have 18th of September 24, and then backwards 18th of September 24. These are not the numbers. The sequence of the numbers are backwards. No, the numbers aren't backwards. The sequence of numbers are backwards. Right here, so people get confused with this, the numbers being backwards, because you can take 24 and backwards is 42, or you could take anyways, there's the sequence of numbers is backwards. 18th of, you get my point here. 18th of September 24, 18th of September 24. And I have so much information on this. It's phenomenal. Built in these words is the date of this thing. And even the word red is for this first day. It's the first day of blood. It's the first day of blood. In red is 9/18. This is the first day of the blood that's coming. It's crazy. This stuff has all been planned for this time. If it's this time, if it's another time, it's still been planned for that time. I just haven't figured it out yet. But again, this is my best prediction based on what I know and everything. And I've been right by a lot of things. Some things exactly on the exact thing on the right day, and some things the general idea or the concept on the right day, or sometimes the concept, the exact idea, whatever, on a day that's close or whatever. Like literally, I was off a few years ago when the Queen died. I was off by a few days. That's it. Okay, I said she was going to die for 6 months or more than that, and then as far as started predicting that she was going to die 6 to 7 months before that. It wasn't coming up for me. I wasn't. And the Lord's finally saying to me, "Oh, she's going to die soon," and I was like, "Okay." And then finally when she died, I was off on my prediction by 3 days. Okay, because the numerology was a little bit twisted than I thought. Okay, but I was so close. It was crazy. Okay, that's what I mean by how this stuff works. Okay, so just if you don't know this, the red heifers, they got 5 red heifers that came to Israel. And this is a trip when they got to Israel and all that kind of stuff and all. And then they narrowed it down to just a few. And then, and one of them has to be to basically sanctify the building of the temple. And they're going to have to sacrifice one on the Mount of Olives. Okay. And that one's going to, it's a female heifer cow, is going to have to be at least 3 years old. That's what it says in, Numbers. Yeah. Numbers. It says that in Numbers 19, I believe it is, that it has to be at least 3. It could be as much as 4 or whatever, but it has to be at least 3. Okay, so they're not going to risk it being, because if it goes over 3 and much over, every day over, they risk, if one hair that grows turns white or black, it's disqualified. So they're not going to risk, so as close to the 3 years as possible. Now, I'm going to show you in my next video how I can pretty much prove that one of them is 3 years and 1 day old. And wow, you won't believe this when I show you this on the next. It's gonna be on the next video. I just don't have time, and it's not what I'm trying to do right now in this video. It is mind blowing. You've got to stay tuned for this. I'm pretty much gonna prove how one of the heifers is 3 years and 1 day old, and that is, if you know Jewish history at all, you know that's so Jewish. I mean, history. For example, one of the things that they did on the other way was -1. That you would add 1 extra to be sure, or -1 to be sure. Let me give you an example of that. That just comes to my mind right away. Apostle Paul was given the 40 lashes a few times. Several times. I don't know how many. 3, 4, 5, 4 times, 3, 4, 5 times. I don't know what it was. I can't remember right now. But they called it the 40 lashes -1. Why is that? Because it was 40 lashes that they had. It was a cat of 9 tails, and it was kind of like in that Jesus movie with oh man, I can't even think what it's called. The Passion of the Christ. Okay, it's depicted very similar to that. I mean, literally the cat of 9 tails had bone and rock on it, and when you whipped somebody, it tore flesh away and all this stuff. But anyway, so when Apostle Paul went through that, Romans beat him with cat of 9 tails, and they called it 40 lashes -1. Why? And this is from research over the years. I've done 33 years of biblical research, and that's how I know the Bible, and it's a lot of kind of ways, and the Lord showed me how to research this and all this stuff for 33 years almost. It's been a little over 33 years now. And the reason it was -1 is because if that Roman that beat, like, for example, Paul with the cat of 9 tails, and he went 1 over, he went to 41. It was 40 lashes. If he went 1 over, then he would be beat 40 lashes. So they always did 1 less. They always did 1 less, 39, just in case they miscounted, because someone was counting somewhere else. Some leader or whatever was counting. And if they miss it by 1, they'd have to get the lashing. So that, again, 1 day less or 1 day more, just to make sure, is totally a Jewish thing. There's other examples I just don't want to get into right now. So that's what I mean. You wait till you see this. It's going to be phenomenal in part 2. So anyway, and then the opposite of this day 9/18, when the red heifer is going to die and be sacrificed, probably reported on 9/19. It happened on 9/18, probably reported on 9/19. And also the difference of time change and all that stuff is going to be 9/19. over there versus over here in the United States, over there in Israel, is the opposite. The day with 104 days left over, which is 90, which is also, oh, this is so much. This is the day that Obama and the Antichristals and the Pope are revealed to the world, August 4th, after the timeline. Anyway, is the opposite is 414. Now, what happened on 4/14/1865? So the opposite of this day, the first day of this timeline, the opposite with the days left over and the day of the year is 4/14. What happened? What big thing happened on 4/14/1865? This guy was shot. It was a sacrifice. He was a form of the red heifer. He was sacrificed. And presidents are a form of red heifer. And I don't understand it completely. The Lord's telling me this, and I'm finding all this information. I'm not quite understanding. If you have any ideas why it would be, or if you think of anything, let me know. I'm putting it together right as we speak, and that's when I'm going to put more. Somehow they are the red heifer. I mean, I know, for example, why Trump is a red heifer. He's a red. The blue side and the red side. The Republicans are red for some reason, and he's a red heifer. Oh man, I don't want to get into all that right now as far as that goes, but why he is all that. But anyway, and then so there's something equating to the presidents and also the red heifer and the sacrifice or whatever. But so he was sacrificed on this day, which is exactly opposite of the red heifer sacrifice day. And guess what? This guy, Antony Blinken, the Secretary of State right now, he is going to be killed, it looks like, on this day and reported on 9/19. Day it happened, and the next day, 9/19, is we have. Why? Because for many reasons that I'm not going to even share, but for some I'm going to share, is that his name on Twitter, for example, when I found this a few years ago, I about fell over. His name on Twitter is A. Blinken. A. Blinken. Antony Blinken is A. Blinken. Get it? A. Blinken was shot, and A. Blinken is going to be killed the exact opposite day. There's far more here. Watch this. This isn't crazy. So his name is Antony, and that's 9. 8 plus 7 plus 3 is 18. 8 plus 7 plus 3 is 18. 9/18. See how this works? 9/18. Blinken in full reduction. So again, this is English and reverse. See how these relate to each other? You put them together. And full reduction and reverse full reduction, 4/13 plus 1 is 4/14. And that's a coincidence? I don't think so. I'm going to show you so many, in this whole video, so many off-the-charts, massive coincidences that there's no such thing. These all line up and they're telling a story. Okay, now watch this. And then he just happened to be in Israel on backwards 9/18. August is 8, 9/18, or 8/19, 9/18. In the conference. So he's going to be, it looks like he's going to possibly be in the Middle East, maybe even in Israel again when he gets killed, okay? But in minimum in the Middle East, or minimum, he's going to definitely be taken out. He is A. Blinken, and he's opposite the day A. Blinken was shot. I mean, it's nuts. And there's much more. I'm going to show you some of this. So A. Blinken, or Abe Lincoln, it was born on February 12th, 1809. See this? See this 9/18, or when he was talking in Israel 8/19. Oh, there's so much here. Look, Antony, like I said, yeah, is 18 is 8 plus 7 plus 3 is 18, and 9 right here. See, it's all right there. And then Blinken is 12/2. 12/2. February is 2/12. 2/12. So his whole name is 12th of February, February. 8 plus 7 plus 3 is 18/09. Are you kidding me? There's no way. No way. Now look, this is his birth, and this is his birth. Not to mention that when he was shot, it was April 15th, and it was reported, the reporting day was the next day of April 16th. When he was shot, he was shot on 4/14. Sorry, he was shot on 4/14. He died on 4/15, and it was reported, mass majority of it was reported on 4/16, and his birthday is 4/16. Crazy. Now watch this. So when you go from Abraham Lincoln's birthday to Abe Lincoln's birthday to A. Blinken's birthday, you get this, and that is 15 plus 3 is 18, and 6 plus 3 is 9. Again, 9/18, his death day. Birthday to birthday equals hiding death day. And this is 9/18. This is 9. 1, 6 is 16, plus 2 is 18. 9/18, 9/18, and 9/18. That's a massive off-the-charts coincidence. I don't think so. This is planned. And then Antony Blinken is 156 and 195. Now, when I saw this, I immediately saw what this was. And then I plugged something in, and I could not believe it. I knew it. I just knew it. The Lord was showing me exactly what it was before I even knew what it was. And I proved, it's just crazy. This is how this stuff works sometimes. So watch this. You take 156, and again, remember upside down and backwards. So here's upside down and backwards. Take 6 and do it upside down and backwards. That's 156 becomes 159. You take the 6 and upside down and backwards to 9. And then see this? Now we go backwards. 9 and 5 switch, so we go backwards. So 9 and 5 switch, and we got 159. So you have 159, 159. Now watch this. This is off the charts. Incredible. From the the shooting of Lincoln, to the reported death day of Abe, from the shooting of Abe Lincoln to the reported death day of Abe Lincoln, is going to be 159 years and 159 days. And his name basically is that, hidden. And that's a massive coincidence. And they, from death to death, if this happens, it's incredible. It's incredible. And then if you take 159, which is 15 plus 9, and this 15 plus 9 is 24, that's the year. And then if you take this 159, which is backwards, 95 plus 1 is 96, and 95 plus 1 is 96. That's the 90 day with 96 days left over in 24 is this 159 and that 159, or this 159 and that 159. Day with 96 days, and 15 plus 9 is 24. I mean, are you kidding me? And this date is the day, so the two presidents, the 296s. So 296s right here, in a sense, 296s represents two dead presidents. 296s represent two dead presidents. And the day with the 96 days left over, they're both going to be killed on 9. I've said this, the seventh day is 2 plus 5 is 7, and the 8th day is 2 plus 6 is 8. Okay, they're going to die on the 7th day, which 2 plus 5 is 7, and then it's reported dead on the 26th. That's in my timelines, been in my timelines for years. The 7th and 8th day of the dead presidents. Dead presidents, okay? And that matches 100%. Now watch this. Dead presidents. Dead presidents. This is all over. This stuff's all over the media. This is a movie, Dead Presidents. Okay? It's about two dead presidents. And dead presidents came out in 159 and 159. Remember, Antony Blinken was 159 and 159? 159 backwards, 9 and 5 switch it, and 159, 159, 159. Dead presidents is in 19, get rid of 19, rule of 9s, get rid of 19, and then 159, and that's what year, and then hours and minutes of it is 159, 159, 159. And that's a coincidence? I don't think so. I could find a bunch of these if I wanted to. I know I could. I know it's all over. And then this, talk about two dead presidents. Remember I said it's Trumple and Stinky B. Okay? Watch. Black and white. See? And it's a female. And there's a male and all this stuff too, but this one's a female. Black and white. Black and white. Again, I showed you the opposites. Remember black and white? That is black, and Stinky B is supposedly black, but he's not really. He's a clone of Akhenaten. He is Egyptian. Black and white. Black and white. Black and white. Dead presidents. 159, 159, or 96 and 96. 296s make 2 days with 96 days left over, or two dead presidents. Hello, McFly! Is this thing on? Okay, anyway. And then the song for this movie, called Dead Presidents, is by Jay-Z. Yeah, parental advisory. Yep, sure. Jay-Z is 62, or 26 backwards, which is a few things. Watch. J is 36, which is 9, and 26, of course, is 26. That is the day the dead presidents are reported. 9/26, they're reported dead. 9/26, the dead presidents. And that's a coincidence. Also, Remember, 26 as in Z, part of the Z and JZ, 26 is Z, and that number upside down and backwards is 92. The day with 92 days left over is 930. The 929 and 930 are the birth of the Antichrist. So that's the birth, and flip that, and that's the death day. Birthday, 92 days left over. Death day, the 26th day of September. Crazy. There's so much in here. And then when you saw Z's on tanks in Ukraine and all that stuff, and that's what this is all about. And it's also, there's so much here I can get into. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then this is seen in iPad Go. You literally have a J, the Psalm 23, but it's shown in just a little clip here, and it's really JZ equals O. This O with a line through it. JZ, for example, that rapper, his first letter code is J and Z. JZ. You don't have to spell out AY, just JZ. You can just literally just say JZ, and that's JZ. See how that works? JZ. Doesn't even have to spell it out, and they both sound the same. JZ and JZ, JAYZ. So JZ equals Obama's. He's right below this, by the way, and he signs his last name Obama with an O with a line through it. So JZ equals Obama. You see that? So whatever JZ is, it equals Obama. And not only is he right underneath it, that's how he signs his name with an O with a line through it. See that? So JZ equals Obama. Okay, watch. Now, what is JZ? What equals Obama? JZ, it's just like the rapper, like I showed you, is not only 926 when you take the whole name, but also when you take the abbreviated name. J is 10, take away the 0. Z is 26. Now flip this upside down and backwards, and you have the day with 92 days left over is September 30th. The day with 93 days left over is September 29th, the 2 days of birth of the Antichrist. Right here, this dude. Bam, hello. See that? The day with 92 days left over is 92, plus 1 is the day with 93 days left over, 929. Both days. 11th day, 2 plus 9 is 11. 12th day, 1 plus 2 is 3, and then it's the 0. Because they're just in order here. That's how this works. It's crazy. Now we're going to talk about Biden time. In fact, I called him Biden time for years because I knew he was Biden time for the Antichrist, because he was the puppet, and the puppet master was Stinky B, Obama's. I mean, of course. Of course, if you don't know that, wake up. I mean, seriously, you got to know that. I mean, that's the only reason why he became president, because he was like the third term of Stinky B.O., okay? Seriously, really. And I called him Biden time because he's Biden time until all this stuff is going to happen. And also because he wouldn't complete his presidency. Not only has you have predictive programming of, like I said, what happened years ago, that he would be replaced by Harris, but technically he won't finish out his 4 years, and he will be removed, or I'm saying he will most likely die, or at the least be removed completely, maybe Amendment 25 somehow, or he'll die. I think it's more like he'll die, but he could be removed and actually replaced by Harris. So he won't complete his full presidency, and then he will not be the 7th king. He will not be the 8th king. So that kingship will not be complete, so will not be a kingship. So Stinky B.O. is the 6th king from Carter. Trump is the 7th king, and then Stinky B.O. will be raised to the Antichrist over the whole world, in a sense that's king of the world. There's no government structure besides, in a sense, a form of it through the UN and everything, and technocracy, and he'll be the 8th king. So he'll be 6th king and the 8th king, and Barack Obama equals 68. Like I've shared in my last videos, one of my last couple videos. Wow. Because Joseph R. Biden, this is many ways. I've laid this out already in some of my previous videos, but it just wasn't quite the day I thought it was. But if you look at those again, you'll see it adds up to this day also. Joseph R. Biden is 19th of September. Here's another one. President Biden is what? 8 plus 6 plus 4 is 18. And then 1 plus 4 plus 4 is 9. 18th of September, 19th of September. President Biden or Joseph R. Biden. I mean, there's many other ways. There's all kinds of ways to show this. In fact, what I'm about to show you is incredible. So he dies on this day. It's reported on this day. Bam. Including this. This was incredible. I found this recently. It's amazing. And this, off the charts. Not only is in his birthday is included his death day. It's in here. including 24, 24, 9, 9. What's all in here? 8 and 1. O is 6. That 2 plus 6 is 8 and 1. 9, 1, 8. And Novem is 9. Anything you add 9 to stays the same. To get rid of Novem. Novem is 9 in Latin. Okay, so this is literally backwards. 24th, year 24, 9, 1, and then O is 15th letter of the alphabet. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. 24th year, 9, 18, right here. And then 9 is nothing because it's November. Take away 9. But from that day, his birthday, to this day, his death day, is this. He'll be 81 years, 9 months, 4 weeks, and 2 days old. Backwards. 24th year, 9th month, 18 day, exactly backwards. So not in the United States, but almost every other country besides the United States, they go 18th of September 24. Well, this is exactly back. We do a stupid thing. We go month 9 and then day 18 and then 24. You got to do the smaller amount than the bigger amounts. The day 18, 9th month, and then 24. But this is exactly backwards. The rest of the world does this. 24th year, 9th month, 18th day. And that's exactly what that is. Wow. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's impossible. Okay, then like I said, all this stuff came out on the 29th and 30th. Grim New Report reveals King Charles is sleeping a lot and not well as he fights cancer. Like I said, 9+ years ago. And for this whole time doing my videos here and there, peppered here and there, I said that the William just peppered it because most people couldn't handle it. And most, especially American Christians don't understand this. They don't know a lot about the king, the prince, or the kingship over there and all that stuff, and and the queen and all that stuff. So I didn't get into it too much, but here and there I peppered it here and there that William is going to be significant. He's going to be the second beast and all that stuff. I have for years, okay? Because, and here it is playing out. He's, like I said, the queen would die. She died. And then I'm saying he's going to be kicked out of he's going to kick the bucket. This is all planned and he knows it. He's all part of it. Okay, he'll probably repackage and put it as somebody else, or he'll be killed off and think he's going to be reincarnated as somebody else or something like that. That's probably what it's going to be. Or being told he's going to be brought back to life or something stupid like that, how these people believe. Okay, so, and then right here, Kate Middleton to prepare for queen role as Charles' health deteriorates. See, they're predicting program his death coming. And Prince William will become king. He will become King William. So, like I predicted back in August 10th and 11th, just to show you that, again, it's happening. So, this showing you that later on that they're reporting his ill health, that he's going to be replaced, talking about her replacing him as, not technically as queen, but they're talking about her being queen. They're not gonna really focus on William because he's gonna be king. They're kind of loosely saying, oh, she's gonna be queen and preparing her role for queen. They're not gonna go, oh, he's going to be king. They're just kind of downplaying that. But that's what it is. He's gonna be king, and then she's gonna be his queen, of course. So but she could die of cancer. She has cancer too because cancer is the programming. I'm gonna show you that in a second. And then he's gone, and he's just by himself as king. So I said King Charles III dies from cancer, and then William becomes King William V. He'll be the 5th William in history, so he'll be King William V. Just like Charles is the 3rd King Charles. He's the 3rd King Charles. There was 2 Charles before him. There's 4 Williams before him, King Williams. So he'll be King William V. Now watch. And how did I know? And more things that this was coming. When he released his presidential portrait that I knew was from hell, it was about his death that was coming. I put upside down and backwards and put it with these other 3 other images upside down and backwards, and he's going to be sacrificed to Moloch. You see the bull Moloch here? See, his horns are right here, eyes here, nostrils right here, and mouth right here. It's Moloch right here. It's the bull god Moloch. The opposite of the red cow is the red bull. Red bull, opposite of the red cow. And he's going to be a red bull sacrifice or to Moloch. See, another sacrifice of the red bull or cow. This is their psycho stuff they believe. It's right here. Do you see this big red bull right here? Hopefully you can see that. Nostrils right here, mouth right here, eyes right here, kind of little eyes right here, but the horns right here. And it's also something else, and I'll show you in a second here. This day that was released was 14th of May, 2024, the official portrait of H.M. King, His Majesty King Charles III. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now watch. That's the numerology right here. 145224. And what's that? 1 plus 4 plus 5 is 10. Is 10. 2 is here. 24. That is going to be his reported death day, the day of the eclipse. Right there. See? Okay, and there's more. So look at this. From his birthday, Charles' birthday, to again, it's October 1st and 2nd, because this is his actual death day, and it's going to be reported on this day. Okay? So that day is, look, 75 years and 322 days. And I thought it might have something to do with this, because it could have been, I originally reported, it looked like it might have been May 22nd, because not only May is the third month, but 22nd, but also May 22nd is the 142nd day of the year with 322 days left over, 223 days left over, or 322 backwards. Then I thought it might be August 11th, and that's why I said August 10th and 11th, because the 223rd day of the year is August 11th, but this year is August 10th, so it looked like August 10th and 11th. It was like, wow, because I saw so much 322, but this is why, because this eclipse is associated with 322, and I'm going to show you this, and 223, it's crazy, and how 75 is as well. He's 75 years old, and I'm going to show you that soon, how that is. Watch this. Okay, so if you, again, the 322nd day of the year this year is 11/17. 11/17 is 11/8. See how 8/11 is also 8/11 this year is also 8/11 most years is the 223rd day of the year. Or backwards, see, 8/11 is the 223rd day of the year. It's crazy. And then 11/17 this year is the 322nd day of the year. That's another reason why it shows you it's this year, because that's the only way these can both be the case. It's crazy. Okay, and then watch this. This is crazy. So the day with the 322nd day of the year this year is 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 7, 10, 2, 24. Oh my gosh. That's how it's associated with this day. 322 is associated with this day in another way. There's so many ways. It's crazy. I'm not going to get into all of them, but okay. And then look at this. Skull and bones. On his portrait, upside down and back. You can see a little bit upside down and backwards. You can see how his hands look like bone hands. And his skull is just, or his head is kind of light, and then darkened. His eyes are kind of darkened. And you can see it upside down and backwards a little bit more than you can when it's right side up. That is his head becomes a skull, and that's why it's death. And he's really light and dark, like it's death or a skull. And then his hands look like bony hands. Skull and bones. Skull and bones. See, upside down. See how that is? It's crazy. They're all associated with this. It's crazy. And then his coronation, okay, was on this date, 322 backwards. See, the corona. This is what this is about. All this stuff is all about this. This is the little thing, that the ring around this eclipse is called the corona of the sun. Or, okay, well, I'll get into that in a second. And then the date that he was coronated plus 322 days ends up being March 22nd this year. And it just happens to be only because this is a leap year. Otherwise, it wouldn't match. So from this, the day he was coronated, to when you add 322 days, again, add skull and bones, and you get to the day of skull and bones, 322. It's crazy, no way. And then what happened this day? This reported by CNN, Catherine, Princess of Wales, says she has cancer. 322. Are you kidding me? The day he was coronated, which is 322 backwards in the year, and then that day you add 322 days to, you get 322, and that day CNN reports and other agencies report that she has cancer, and so does he. And that's a coincidence? I don't think so. And then this headline here, Catherine, Prince of Wales, says she has cancer. Right here, Catherine, Prince of Wales, says she has cancer, is 40 letters and 8 words. So let's go backwards. 88 words and 40 letters. 8 plus 4 is 12, and then we have a 0. 12 and 0, or 1, 0, and then 2. See, October 2nd. And right here is October 2nd, because you have 10, 2, and then 6 is 2 plus 4. 10, 2, 6, 6 is 2 plus 4. 10, 2, and 10, 2, all hidden in this. The words and letters hidden, that hidden. Are you kidding me? And then they both have Cancer, which is predictably programming the day as well. And remember, 8, 11, or the 11th of August is the 223rd day of the year normally, or 322. 322 associated with what? 10, 10, 2, and then 6 is 2 plus 4. Again, 11th of August normally in most years is the 223rd day of the year, or 322 backwards. 322 associated with 10. 3 plus 7 is 10. 2, and then 6 is 24. I hope you'll get this. Man, this is crazy. See, this is all... you're being programmed. Hello? Okay, anyway. And then here's the nugget right here that's going to be the second beast, okay? And his name, he'll have several names. King William V is probably one of the more technical names, okay? And look at this. Watch this. This is 8 plus 2 is 10, and then we have 1. That is the first day of the eclipse, the 10-1 and 10-2. Remember, it's for 4 minutes and whatever. 10-1. Okay, 10-1. And then plus 1 right here is 10-2, and then 24. This is all backwards. See how this is backwards? 10-1 plus 1, and then 24 backwards. 10-1 and 1 is 10-2, 24. Also, look at his birth. There's so many things I could share with you. I'm just going to share some of this. I have tons of stuff that show this. And again, why would this be synced to that day? Because that's the day Charles died. 1 and 2 of October 1st and 2nd are the day his death and his reporting day of King Charles, and that's the day he becomes King William V. Okay, the actual day and then the reported day. So that's why he has everything to do with this. As far as his numerology, his dates, births, all these dates, all these numbers. Okay, so this is his birth. This is now who's called Prince William. His birthday is June 21st, 1982, okay? And then going to this, the day he technically becomes king, technically the day that King Charles dies, okay, right here, ready? Look at this, backwards, 2nd of October, 24. That's another massive off-the-charts coincidence. Coinky-dink? I don't think so. Another way, so he's King William V, or he's also King William. Okay, ready? 1, 0, and 2. 1, 0, and 2. And 17 plus 7 is 24. There's the date. It's also right here. 10, 2, and 6 is made up of 2 plus 4. Okay? See, 10, 2, 6 is hiding 2 plus 4. 10, 2, 24, and 10, 2, 6. Are you kidding me? Bam. And then look at this. This is crazy. This will be his name, King William V. Look at first letter code. K, now these color coded this way. KWV. Ready? K is 11, W is 23, and V is 22. Ready? Bring these down. And you have 1 plus 1 is 2. Bring the 23 down and the 22. And you literally have a mirror of 322 skull and bones. 322 this way and 322 that way from the middle. And that's a coincidence? These guys are all about death. I'm telling you, that's what this is all about. It's all about death, skull and bones, man. Boom. Now, another thing I said that was going to happen was, and I predicted this, I'm going to show you that when I predicted in the past as well, but I literally predicted it was going to become an emergency, and it did. Now, right now, this is reported August 30th, so a couple days ago that you'll see this, from when you'll see this, or whenever you see this, new mpox strain, blah, blah, blah. Okay, look at this. Okay, and then read this. Okay, it's going to saying it's going to mutate. It's mutating, and I said this would happen. Okay, and it's going to mutate into something that would form the zombie apocalypse, basically. Okay, in people. Okay, and then well, it's going to lead to that. But people that are going to, who have the hokey pokey, I call it. They got the jab and the hokey pokey. They're going to turn into zombified things because of what's inside them. They're going to turn on the stuff, and then they're going to turn into this. Okay, so but watch. This is what I literally on 8, 9, and 8:10 I said monkeypox / Marburg severity increase, emergency announced. It's increase or emergency announced. And literally a few days later on the same numerology. So this is the first day numerology, and I've said for years that whatever happens with the zombie plague is going to be the first day numerology and the fourth and the fifth day numerology. And it literally happens on the fourth and fifth day numerology because on the 13th, the I can't really say, I don't want to say it. So Diesels, okay, reported in Africa that it was an emergency. And then the next day, the Ozels reported as an emergency, as a pandemic. So, and that's all the numerology of this. Oh man, there's so much here. Okay, so, and I said that, okay. And then let's just take this whole phrase right here. I could do it with each one or all the different things, but let's just take this whole phrase right here, this whole sentence right here, okay? This whole sentence right here. First of all, let's go with letters and words. This is O, which is 15th letter of the alphabet, or 1 plus 5 is 6. Flip that upside down and backwards is 9. 9, 3 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 18. 918, and 9, 14 plus 4 is 18. 918, 918. Sorry. So that day, I'm sorry, but it's right. That day is going to be some kind of, they're going to say a mutation, and it's going to be something that's going to, whatever they're going to call it at that time, some version of MPO and that X, okay, that comes from monkeys. By the way, monkey programming has been everywhere, okay? It's been all over. Any of the Planet of the Apes stuff, I mean, there's a good example. The Planet of the Apes, all the Planet of the Apes movies, even to the most recent one, okay, it was a plague, it was a virus, they said. And then these people, these things walking around are both monkeys and humans. So they have the monkeys and humans, the monkey and the human together. So there's a human with monkey poxels. Get it? Hopefully you get it. But I mean, typically they're chimpanzees and there was gorillas. But the idea generally that people go, oh, that's a monkey. Whatever. And by the way, Stinky B equals monkey equals Obama. I mean, it's crazy. And all this other stuff. I showed how MPOX equals Barack Obama also in one of my previous videos. All this stuff equals him. I mean, every disaster, every explosion, Obama, okay, it's everything. All these disasters end up equaling him somehow. I've showed it over the years many times. It's crazy. So, and then look, when we had this corona right here, okay, on this date, what's this date? This date is 1/20/22, or 1 plus 2 is 3, 322. See? Okay, there's more. That date of the first one of these that came, the first reporting of one of these, with this corona thing right there, okay, is also, not only is it, I just showed you, it was 322, okay, 1 plus 2 is 322, it's also color-coded this way. That is, of course, 1 0 10 2 10 2. Remember how I said this is associated with 322? Another 322 right here, hidden in front of your face. Bring the 2 down, and then O is the 15th letter of the alphabet. O is the 15th letter of the alphabet. 2 15 plus 15 is 30. And take away the 0. So this date is, so look at this, basically 3/2 death, skull and bones, 3/22 backwards, 2nd of October. Skull and bones, death, 3/22, just read it backwards. 3/22 skull and bones, death on 2nd of October. Ushering in the Antichrist, ushering in the tribulation. It's crazy. This is crazy. And then again, there's that day when the first corona came, the virus, okay, to this day of the actual corona is 4257. Now, this is crazy about this. What's 57? Stinky BO is Mr. 57. He had the 57th inauguration of president. I found over 60, I think, over 60 different versions of him being Mr. 57. When he was campaigning, he said he visited 57 states. People thought that was a gaffe. No, he just said it because it's all the numerology 57, because he's 57. Why is that? He's also Mr. 93. Again, remember, one of the planes hit the second building on 9/1 on 9/03, there was also one of the flights was flight 93, and then we had also, this is Stinky BO, his birthday is August 4th. We also have the eclipse that's opposite of 9/23 is 8th of April. all this stuff, these are all hiding 12. 8 plus 4 is 12. 5 plus 7 is 12. 9 plus 3 is 12. These are all different numbers that represent Stinky BO and the Antichrist, because he's 12. What is 12? Also, 12 is also 21 backwards. Godlike status is 777. God is 777 in many different ways. 7 plus 7 plus 7 is 21. Backwards is 12. Okay, there's so much stuff here. But in what's 12 hiding? You basically, they like to compress numbers and decompress numbers. So all the details are hidden in compressing or decompressing. If you decompress 12, it's made up of 10 and 2. Again, October 2nd. And then now we take October 2nd and then do this, 2 and 4, bring these two down. So now go backwards, 2nd of October 24. 2nd of October 24. That to this is that many days, and that's 2nd of October 24. And 57, 84, 93 are all hiding 12. So 12 is hiding ultimately October 2nd. And then these other ones that end up being 12. I'm telling you, it's crazy. This is crazy stuff. And then I went back to the founding of Skull and Bones. Again, I found this date a long time ago, and I can't find the exact date, but the year's out there, but I know what it is. February 13th, which is 12 and 1, the 2 and I don't get into that right now. This is the founding of Skull and Bones to the actual day of Skull and Bones, like I'm telling you. Okay, watch. It's 192 days and 192 years. Sorry, 192 years and 322 days. Now let's go from the founding of Yale, which is where Skull and Bones comes from. But the founding of Skull and Bones was this date. The founding of Yale was Skull and Bones is at, even still today, I believe. The founding of Skull and Yale to this date. Ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? 322, 322. This is nuts. And by the way, there's so much I get into. I'm not getting into it right now. Okay, we're just gonna leave it at that. Okay, and then the word, remember, that's in virus, or the thing that happened, the plague that happened, and all that and all this stuff's about. And then you got the king was corona nationed. Okay, and all that stuff. So much stuff. It's crazy. So that equals this number and this number, and that's what this is. It's a corona. Shows the sun corona around this annual eclipse. That's what it is. It's about this day. It's all about this day, and it's this transition from the last day of of October 2nd and 3rd to the tribulation. It's these 2 days are the transition into the next age. So it's 396 and 57. Remember, I said 93 and 57 are both 12. Okay, so they're both are backwards. 93 is 39. Whatever. 12 and 12. See the 12 and 12 here? And then 12 and 12 are both 10 and 2. 12 is hiding 10 and 2. And then we have what's 6? Remember, 6 is hiding 2 plus 4. See? Corona is ultimately that date already. And both these examples. Wow. And then what are you actually seeing? This is a crowning. If you know anything about that, I've had 4 kids and 2 individual births and then a twin birth, which is what's coming. There's a twin birth coming, an evil one and a good one. They call it the crowning. That's another reason why this is the second Revelation 12 sign, because it's a crowning. The birth is happening. It's about to happen. The crowning of the child coming out of the area. Okay, the crowning is the crowning. That's what this is. It's a birth. And crowning is 103. That's the last day of the timeline. It's 102 and 103. And then this is 23. Or take 1 away from 103 and you have 102, and add that 1 to 23 and you get 24. 103 or 102, and take the 1 away from 3 and over here, and that's 23 plus 1 is 24. 102, 24. Or 103. And 311 is also a crazy number too. But anyway, I'm going to get to that. That's a crazy. And then why, oh why, even though, I'm sorry to break it to Christians who don't understand this, but from my massive research over the years, Jesus was not crucified on something like this. He was crucified on a tree, Even though the Bible says that, and then it's been changed to cross, and that means all kinds of stuff because it's all Catholic influence. He was on a tree with his head through his wrists, through his main nerve, through his heels, with his arms above his head and all this stuff, and he had to push up and down to breathe and all this stuff. That's why they broke his legs. It was part of the torture. It was one of the worst tortures ever. He wasn't put on this. This is a symbol or a graven image, but they have this this way because he's at 10 and 2. And why are all these clocks that you see, all these wristwatches, ads, and all this kind of stuff, clocks? Most of them are at 10 and 2 because the false Christ is going to be born on 10/2, which is the eclipse day. All these things, it's crazy. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for people who have, if you prayed for me and my family, for this, for my ministry, for this channel, for us in general, channel in general, but for us, I thank you. If you've given to us financially or whatever, I thank you. Everybody who's ever have. In fact, some of the few gifts that have happened a few times recently, which, I was at the very edge, and then a few things were given recently. Then boom, oh my gosh, thank you. So thank you, the ones who you are in the last few days. Man, we were like on the edge of nothing, and then boom. But we're still not out of the woods. I mean, I have rent coming in less than 2 weeks now, and most of that's not here. Most of it's not here, and my rent and utilities are close to $2,000. A lot of people's stuff have gone up, but I have maybe not even half that right now. Not even half that. So, and we got to get food in the midst of that very soon again, and all this stuff. So I just thank you if you're able to give as well. But I just also want, like I said, I'd like to take the time to thank, if you any kind of positive comments, sharing this video, anything that you've given to us in any positive way at all. Thank you. God bless you. What I always say to anybody who's ever given, whether it's a positive comment or, financially, whatever, I say this to the Lord every single time. I've never said this before, but I feel like He wants me to say this. I say, thank you, Father, for blessing this person 1,000 times over in this life and the next, in Jesus' name. I just say that all the time. And because I appreciate it. It means a lot. It means a lot to me and my family. And this is hard as it can be sometimes. It really is. It's to trust the Lord on all this stuff, and to not be able to plan very very much, and to have to when sometimes some family members want to get this or that, and you're like, I can't do it. I just until I get some kind of donation or whatever. And then sometimes we can do something and extra, but most of the time you can't. Because you can't plan for anything really. But I just thank you. My main thing is just say thank you, because you don't have to give of your. You don't have to give of yourself. I mean, you don't have to give of your resources. So I thank you, and I just ask that if you're able to, we could use it. We need it badly. We need it badly all the time, because it's always, it's never too much. It's always just enough. And that's kind of the frustrating thing about it. So sometimes it's like the Lord just keeps, especially the last 6 months. It's been a lot tougher, and I've had to beg more lately because it hasn't been so bad before that. And then maybe this shows me that there's a huge evidence that's coming down to the wire, because it's like almost like this extra testing. The Lord's just saying, okay, you're going to trust me all the way to the end. And I think that's what He's telling all of you that are faithful. It's making it harder. There's you're getting zapped. You're fighting every bit of you, and you're low. I mean, you're low. Your tank's low, but you're just hanging on. You're hanging on by this. I feel like I've said the golden thread. Like I'm hanging off a cliff by His golden thread. But it's golden. It's holding me, but it feels like it could snap at any time. But it's not. He's holding me, but it's just tough, and He knows that. And the reason why He's doing that, He just told me recently again, is because He wants to prove to Lord Jesus wants to prove to the Father that we are faithful to the very end, and we're stretched, and then the rewards and everything for eternity are going to be incredible. So just hang in there, and again, like I said, if you're able to give, we could really use it. We're hanging in there, and so anyway, I just thank everybody. God bless you. And if you can, share this video, because this part 1 and part 2, the part 2 is going to be even better. This part 1 I think is great. All the stuff I've gotten from the Lord is just phenomenal about this. This is really what it's all about, I believe it. And the Lord's told me kind of on the side recently that this is, when he said this is it on a previous video, he was saying that this is it. It's about to happen. Like, and I, even after this time, the last one didn't happen, I felt like he was saying it's about to happen. It's about, and I hadn't gotten that since the Revelation 12 sign. I really haven't. And now I really feel like he's saying it's coming. It's right here. It's right here. It's right here. It's right here. So whatever that's worth, again, I'm still speculating. I'm not going to say definitively that it's it. Of course not. Because I don't know. I don't know. But I feel like I feel it. I really feel it. You know, so anyway, I'll leave it at that. God bless you. God bless you. And thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart and my family's heart. I just thank you so much. This is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.